Hey guys, it's KoolySmiley, and I asked you guys to ask me some questions about the spooky season on my Insta story today. I asked you guys to ask questions that had to do with like Halloween and horror and my opinions on some scary things. We haven't done a Q&A in a hot minute, but I'm really excited to be doing one that's actually themed around something. Where would you hide in the house if you were in a horror movie? So, fun fact, I'm a paranoid bitch. And I have some sort of weapon in every room of my house. So, to be honest, I think I'd be fine in any room of the house. But something that I learned, and this is so sad that we've had to be taught this in public schools, the smartest way to get away from somebody who's trying to hurt you is to catch them off guard. Something I would do is I would hide behind a door in some room of the house or in a nook that's around the side of the door. You don't want to be in the eye line of the killer. You want to be in their peripheral so that they can have a moment to maybe realize you're there and just whack them with a metal bat. I've thought about this. Can you tell that I've thought about this? People ask me if I think that I would survive a horror movie, and I don't know if I'd survive to the end, but I think I'd put up a really, really good fight, to be honest. I really do. What did your typical Halloween look like as a child versus as a teenager versus as an adult? I love this question because Halloween is my favorite holiday. And growing up, Halloween was also my dad's favorite holiday. So when we were kids, my dad would go all out. We would buy lots of Halloween decorations. We would decorate our house to look like a haunted house. My dad actually built this facade, this wooden facade that looked like a mansion, like in the shape of like a pointed, like old haunted house. And he painted it and we covered it in decorations every year, and it would go in front of the front door so that the front door looked like the foyer of a haunted mansion. So we'd build a whole graveyard and we'd build this whole haunted house, and people would walk in and there'd be things sitting, on the front steps to make it look like you were like in the haunted house. It was super cool. So my favorite time of the year was always Halloween because I loved being around and helping my dad set up every year for Halloween. It was such a fun event. And I do really, really miss that. What did my Halloweens look like when I was a teenager? Oh, that's a really good question. I remember one particular year I had a bunch of friends over and we had like a slumber party. And that was when I first discovered YouTube. So we were like filming a bunch of silly videos that never actually got put on YouTube. And Halloween as an adult has been business. Work. For the past few years on Halloween, I've worked, I've streamed. And those are usually like my favorite streams of the year. So, have you had any paranormal experiences? Yes. I've had quite a few, and I'm one of those people that feels that the more I talk about these things, the more power you give to that thing, right? So I don't like to talk about it too much, but I do have a whole YouTube video talking about some of the experiences I've had, and I've recently had a new one. So y'all let me know if you want a whole video talking about my most recent ghost experience, and maybe I'll make a video about it. Maybe. Maybe. Let me know. Ghosts exist, though. If that's what you're asking about, ghosts, spirits, demons absolutely exist. I feel it in my gams. If you had to survive through one horror movie, which one would it be and why? Ooh, that's so hard. I'd want to survive through like Mars attacks, not because I'd feel like a badass or anything, because I wouldn't. I bet you wanted me to give you an answer that made me feel more like a final girl. But I think Mars attacks would be a really cool experience to talk about years later. Even like signs. I guess I just really like aliens. So, like a scary movie that had to do with aliens. I'd like to survive an alien invasion. And I'd like to be someone that was kind of on the front lines experiencing the aliens, but not like the movie Alien, because the xenomorph, fuck that. I don't want to unpack that trauma for the rest of my life. Least favorite fall activity. I wouldn't say this is my least favorite, but honestly, I've never gone apple picking. I have never once done the whole apple picking thing. Like, I didn't even really realize that was like a Halloween activity until like maybe 2 years ago. And I lived in the Midwest where apple picking was a thing, but I've never done it. So maybe I'll get to do that sometime. I don't know if I have a least favorite like fall activity, because honestly, this is my favorite time of year and I like to do all of it. All of it. I mean, I used to hate doing haunted houses, but I went to one recently and had a great time. So I don't know. We're all changing and growing, and our opinions change over time. Thoughts on people who hate Halloween? Here's my thoughts on people who hate on holidays in general. You're absolutely valid and you have every right to not like specific holidays. But to be one of those people that has to be vocal about it is just one of the most annoying things in the whole world. And I'm sorry, but it's not a personality trait. Shitting on people's joy is the ugliest trait someone can have. And that comes in all different forms. But when I see people hating on like winter holidays, because you know there's a lot of Christmas lovers, when I see people hating on people who are getting ready for Halloween early, I just see someone who doesn't know how to have a good time. And that's boring, man. Find some joy. We just lived through a panini press, my guy. We just lived through a Panda Express, my guy. Find joy in the ways that you can. Halloween brings me joy. Don't shit on my joy. Don't be a joy shitter, a party pooper, an annoying Nancy, a Karen. Don't be that. How does it feel to fully embrace your love for Halloween this year? So good. Y'all, I gotta stand up. Okay, listen. I have spent so much of my life not being my full me, not fully embracing the things that make me happy. Do you know how much happiness I've missed out on? How much fun? Someone did comment recently on one of my Halloween videos where I bought a bunch of stuff, one of my hauls, and they were like, "I'm sorry, hun, but you wasted your money." And I just disagree. I'm going to go back to the joy thing. Anything that sparks joy is not a waste of money. Period. Anything that sparks joy is not a waste, period. Right? It feels so good to fully embrace this side of me because it truly is something that makes me so happy. And to fully embrace it means I'm fully embracing happiness. Things that make me happy, things that give me joy. It's dopamine upon serotonin, and I'm having a great time. And my mental health is probably the best it's been in a hot minute. So if you're holding yourself back from enjoying something that you really like, if you're not fully embracing it, honestly, consider delving into it a little bit harder. You deserve it, bestie. What about Halloween and fall makes it your favorite? Well, first of all, fall has always been my favorite time of the year because I love layering clothing. I love the smells of leaves, and I love flannel, and I love hot drinks like cider and coffee and cocoa. And I love just the coziness that time of the year brings. Why is Halloween my favorite? For the longest time, I thought it was just because I really liked dressing up. You know, I've been an actress since I was like able to speak. And so I thought that was part of it. It was like performing as another character. But now that I've kind of become more of like a streamer than a performer, I don't necessarily know if it does fully have to do with the acting performative aspect. Like, I just really like creepy things. Eerie things, scary things. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I just love horror, and I don't know. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? I can't. I just love it. I just love it. Like, Christmas is fine, but that comes with family trauma. What other holidays are there? New Year's is fine, but that comes with a hangover. Valentine's Day's fine, but like that comes with feeling like expectations aren't met. And Easter's fine, but I'm not religious. And I don't know, just Halloween is just the best out of all of them. And dressing up is fun, and being someone else is fun, and watching scary movies and being scared is fun. It's just all fun. It's fun. Favorite thing to carve into pumpkins. Fun fact, I don't like carving pumpkins. I don't enjoy it. I don't like knives. And I know that's ironic. Oh, I'm not wearing my knife necklace right now. I know that's ironic because I wear a knife necklace around my neck pretty much every other day. But I'm horrified of knives. You wake up from a daze. Which horror movie universe did you find yourself in? I said that I want to survive an alien invasion, but I think if I didn't have a choice on what kind of Halloween experience I'd have, I feel like it would be Fear Street. Like, I feel like it would be one of those situations where none of the adults believe me, and I have to like problem solve with my like younger friends. And I'm just saying that now, like, I'm not currently an adult. Did I forget how old I am? I guess in this scenario, I'm still a teenager. Not me forgetting I'm an adult. Okay, moving on. Which horror character scares you the most? It's a really solid tie between Michael Myers and Leatherface. Like, Michael is stealthy and quiet and sneaky. And like when I play Dead by Daylight, he usually sneaks up on me and scares the crap out of me. He's also just really strong. I know people say like he's the weakest of all of them. I don't really care. I think I could avoid Jason. I think I could avoid Freddy. And Freddy's funny, so it's whatever. But with Leatherface, Leatherface doesn't savor his kills. He's fast and he's wild and he's basically just hungry, which is so gross. And he's just like a beast. Like, he's not even a person. Like, Michael has moments of empathy, not necessarily canon moments of empathy, but there are moments of empathy in some of the movies. And Bubba doesn't. He's just this beast that's hungry and has a chainsaw, which is really hard to outrun. And he runs. He's fast. Ugh, I hate him. And also, just like the face in general is so icky to me. Icky, gross, scary, disgusting. Not a fan. If I could act in any horror movie, what would I choose? Literally any movie where I could be a final girl. It is my dream to be a final girl. I'm manifesting it that one day I will be a final girl in a film. It is all I want. My life will be complete if I can play a final girl. I'm manifesting it. I will be a final girl one day. Tell your friends. Hey, go hire KoolySmiley to be your go-to final girl. She's pretty cool and tough. At least she can act like she is. What is your favorite not scary Halloween movie? Movie, Hocus Pocus. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. TV show, I feel like I haven't recommended this to you guys yet this season, and you all need to watch it. Over the Garden Wall was a show on, I believe, Cartoon Network? Correct me if I'm wrong. Elijah Wood plays the main character. It's like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy meets like Adventure Time. Like, it's cute and creepy, and it's only one season, and it's super short, and it has a nice little bow tie at the end, and it's super, super cute. It also gives me like D&D vibes mixed with like Lovecraft, like Halloween-y vibes. I don't know. I don't know if Lovecraft is the right word I'm looking for, but it's just eerie and cute and weird. And if you liked Adventure Time and if you like Halloween, I think you should watch it. Ooh, I like this one. Hayride or Haunted House? Hayride. I'm actually, fun fact, I'm allergic to hay, but I don't care. I love the smell of hay. Every year when I was living in Nebraska, I'd go to this very famous pumpkin patch there, and the hayride was always my favorite part. I love hayrides, and I've heard that there's like spooky hayrides for adults in some areas of the world, and I want to go on one day. Like, a spooky hayride sounds so fun. Fuck, marry, kill the Sanderson sisters. Wait. I love this question. Sarah Sanderson is Sarah Jessica Parker. Winifred is Bette Miller. And Mary is Kathy Najimy. I don't know how to say her last name. This is pretty easy, I think. I would marry Mary because she's fucking funny and weird and dumb, and I think we'd have a great time together. I would fuck Sarah because, have you seen her? And I would kill Winifred. She already has had love pass her by, and she's pretty selfish. So, I love you, Bette Midler. It's nothing personal. Candy corn or candy pumpkin? I love this question because they definitely taste different, and the obvious answer is candy pumpkin. You bite the little top off first, and then you eat the rest, right? Anyone else? What is your favorite fall drink? I love pumpkin spice, spice cider, and whiskey. I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, I love coffee. So I love a nice like pumpkin spice latte with almond milk. I don't like it with regular milk. I feel like the taste is just different. But with almond milk, oat milk is okay. I mean, I will say when I make coffee at home, I use oat milk. But at Starbucks, I don't really like their oat milk. But I have never had a spiked cider with whiskey, and I would like to try that. I feel like I'd love that because I love whiskey, and I love drinking whiskey during this time of year. I would love to try some whiskey drinks. If you guys have whiskey drink recommendations, put them in the comment section, and maybe I'll try them. What does a horror movie have to get right for you to love it? So I actually talked about this in a video recently. If you guys want to see my whole list of underrated horror movies that you should watch, go check that out. I'll put that in the description below. But I am not picky when it comes to horror films. I truly enjoy all different kinds of horror. I think that there's so many things that can make a fun horror film. For me, it's not about the scare, it's about the fun. It's about the journey. So if there's cheap jump scares, sure, fine. That's all good and well, as long as the story is fun and interesting, as long as it'll keep me thinking afterwards, or if there's images that fuck me up afterwards that I can't unburn out of my brain. I just want a good story. I want good acting. I want to have fun. And even horror movies with bad acting, I can still enjoy it if the story is fun and interesting. I'm just there for the ride, you know? What was the funniest scary movie that you've ever seen that wasn't supposed to be funny? Okay, so I've actually I've been rewatching the Halloween films to get ready for the new Halloween film that comes out this year. So the last Halloween movie I watched was Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, and that one delves into like a cult that gets started because of Michael Myers' powers, and Paul Rudd's in it, and I love Paul Rudd. He's one of my number one stans. I don't know if I had seen this movie before. I thought I had seen all of the Halloween films, and I don't know if I had seen this one before. And let me tell you, this one was bad. This one was not good. It was just funny. It was just laughable. It was just very silly. It was over the top. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't fun to watch, because I had a great time. I drank wine and I was giggling. I had my popcorn. I was laughing at the scream. I had times where I had to pause it because I was like, what the fuck just happened? First horror movie you ever saw? I can't remember. I can't remember if it was Jaws or if it was The Exorcist. But I don't know if people necessarily count Jaws as horror. So if it's not, it was The Exorcist. But between those two, I watched Scary Movie with my family. And they were like, oh, Laurel, it's okay. Like, we can watch it. It's not supposed to be scary. It's supposed to make fun of scary movies. And I spent that whole time being scared and like screaming and hating it. I hated Scary Movie my first watch. Like, it actually scared me. So it might have been Jaws, it might have been Scary Movie, and it might have been Exorcist. It was one of those three. Tell us about some of your scariest nightmares. I've had some really scary nightmares, and I've actually explained these in a video as well, like years ago. But I used to get night terrors a lot and sleep paralysis a lot. And I've had this one that has haunted me for years. My first house here in Austin that I lived with my parents. And the way that my bed sat is it faced the bathroom, and the door would open in a way that if you were behind the door, you could peek and look straight at me and like make eye contact. And one night, I guess I had left the door cracked, which I never do. I always sleep with all my doors closed to avoid stuff like this because of my sleep paralysis issues that I've had. And one night I woke up and I was looking at my bathroom, laying stuck in my bed, making eye contact with someone who was making eye contact with me from my bathroom, peeking around the door. And then the door closed. And then I woke up. And I remember just staring at the door like, that didn't happen. That was sleep paralysis. That didn't happen. And I just sat there. It was like one of the only times that my childhood dog didn't sleep in the bed with me, so I couldn't like feel the extra safety of having a living creature in the room with me. And I just was stuck in my bed staring at the door. Nothing was there, by the way, in case you were wondering. Ooh, scariest way to die. I think some of the scariest ways to die would be anything that would be lasting, like something that would take a long time. Like drowning scares the hell out of me because you're like struggling through it, and suffocating is the same way. Like suffocating and drowning scares the crap out of me, or burning alive. Ugh, all of it, hate it. But I think the scariest thing would be drowning and just being trapped. Oh, this is freaking me out. We should move on. What's your favorite cozy sweater for fall? I actually just wore this in the last video I filmed. I just bought it and it's so cute. It's got these little skulls and it's like black and white and gray, and it's super soft and comfy, and I got it off of Amazon, which is wild, but it's my new favorite sweater. I just got it this year and I love it so much. My other contender would be my retro looking crew neck sweater that I can't remember where I got. I think I might have gotten it off Etsy last year with all the little retro Halloween things that says Happy Halloween on it. That one's just soft and comfy, and I sleep in that one a lot. Scariest trope in a horror film. I don't know if I can think of something that's like the scariest, but I will say like the ones that really stay with me are movies that have stuff where you have to watch a few times around to totally catch everything. Like the demon being in the foreground in some way, shape, or form. Like It did that really, really well in the new It films. You can see it in the library when the character is like reading a book in the library. It is behind them disguised as an old lady, and not everybody catches that the first time. Literally just like the monster being in the foreground without people being able to see it. Love that. I wouldn't consider it the scariest trope, but I think it is a really great trope that new films don't utilize enough. But don't ruin it with like a jump scare sound. You don't need it. It doesn't need like a reveal, like, oh, it doesn't need that. When it's just there and you just have to catch it later, solid, solid. Love that. And a trope that almost always scares me is found footage films. I think they're really well done. Like the VHS series is super fun, but also totally scary. And I feel the same way with the original. I've only seen the first 3 paranormal activities, but those screwed me up a lot. Those scared the crap out of me. I think found footage can be really creative and eerie and creepy. That's all the questions that I'm going to answer for this Q&A. You guys killed it. You guys knocked it out of the park with the questions, and I really enjoyed this. This was probably my favorite Q&A I've ever done. So thank you guys for asking the questions and participating in this video. If you enjoyed it, leave it a like. Hit the bell button if you haven't yet, so you can get notified when I go, not when I go live, but when I post new videos. Streamer! Tell me you're a streamer without telling me you're a streamer. Just a reminder, I've been pumping out like Halloween spooky content since the end of August. So if you haven't seen all of the videos, I have them in a playlist labeled Halloween on my channel. So make sure you check out all those videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys on the tubes. Later, skaters. Let's get in the spooky spirit together, friends.